Hey Stampin' friends, Darlene with Darlene Stamps. So I'm glad you joined me today. This is out of the box. It's not a paper pumpkin. And it's going to take a little bit of a twist for our catalog and this set. So I love sand dollars and they have great meaning. And I did some die cuts already and we'll make a card today. But I want to show you on in the new catalog on page 73. So this is so when you're doing a budget, and a lot of us are on a budget, or we try to find some better ways that we can still utilize um, the things that Stampin' Up has and product, but not get so in depth. So you can get the bundle for sure. But what I thought was neat this time is that you could actually get a bundle of the folder and the dies. So that's what I did, is I got this set that has the folder and the dies. So let me just show real quick a couple of things that will help in navigating through the new catalog and maximizing the products. I'll be right back. All right, so the first tip is that, so with the embossing folder, that's what you're going to get from the folder itself, and this can definitely be your base. And when you do the 3D folders that we have, it actually gives you more of a, you can't see it on here, but anyhow, just believe me when I say that it's not just a flat embossing, there's actually a curve to this shell. So let me just show you, and it's not, actually it's not going to show too much, but if you, let's see if I can do it here. There's flat. All right, so this one has a little bit of a bow to it, and this is flat. So this is what happens when you take the dies, you do your cut, and then you run it through again with the actual die itself. Because what happens is that it just kind of flattens it. It's still pretty, but it's flattened. So the trick is if you take and you have the side that has Stampin' Up on it, and you take and put this over, it actually nests right inside there. And because I didn't get the stamp set, I'm just using my embossing folder and the dies. So basically this nests, see, this won't move. It nests inside there, and then I put my embossed that I already just did, and I lay that inside, and then when I roll that back through the die cut, that's how I got the image and the kind of the bow to it, which is wonderful. So that was one tip. Then let me show you what we did with this coloring, and I'll be right back. All right, so since I don't have the stamp set, this is what you can do in order to get that ink to go on there. And just use your brayer or sponge, and that way it gets a little bit on there without it getting a whole lot on the whole entire stamp. And then you know how sand dollars have just a little bit of two-tone to it. So that's kind of one way I did it. And then this way I'll show you right quick what we'll do with that. And basically, well, just close this up. So when you take your stamp, your embossing folder, you want to actually drag your pad, and I'll just do it this way. You want to do it with the raised side up, and you're just going to stamp it on there. And then when you actually put your paper in is when you'll get the coloration, and you get this two-tone. So it's kind of like having the stamp set without having to get the stamp set, if that makes sense. so I'm going to assemble. I have a lot of different dies in here. So let me do this. Let me clear this up and use that a little later. And bring all of these over so I can show you just kind of how to assemble a work of art. So I have an envelope that I want to make a bigger card. This is not an A2 card. This literally is a 7 1/4, 7/8 by 5 1/4. So anyhow, I am making a card special with that measurement. So I'm using a retired paper just to use up paper. So I have my card base that will be fitting in there perfectly. And then I've got, this is Sahara sand, and in last month's not last month, it was, maybe it was last month, April. So in April, in our little butterfly stamps, there was a special dot to kind of give it a background. So that's the background or edge border that I used. That'll be my layer, because when you're doing your embossing, the size of that is just a little smaller if I were to do it just with the layer. See how there's a lot more border and it's not as even. So putting a layer in there gives me a little bit more oomph in that. That's my envelope. So what I did was I put together, and I had this one that was a oops. It didn't cut right. I didn't have the right sandwich layers together, but I didn't want to waste this. This actually is basic beige, which is one of my new favorites. So I have a retired card base, which was the soft succulent. I have the Sahara sand. So those are good marriage colors together. And then this one allows for the border to be there, but I'm not committed to the size of my embossing. So I'm going to put it together, but let me stop because this is valuable real estate. So let me go cut that right quick and be right back. All right, so I have just one of my standard favorite fill-in framelits that I use, and it gives me a nice layer for later, but it also gives me my frame, so now my real estate in the middle is not being used up, wasted, all those good things. All right, let me get my glue. So in doing a card where you're just kind of what I call freelancing it, because this isn't a general A2 card, it kind of gets you a little outside of the box of all of the size measurements. So since I'm outside the box, I'm trying to kind of make it work for me. So I'm going to be able to cover that, no problem. And then I'm going to put this half cut part because I'm going to cover it up. But it also gives you, I took the regular size of the paper, and then as you can see, I actually tore the edges. It gives it a different look and kind of gives it more of an interest. So that's where we're going to start with. And then we're just going to build. So I've got a bunch of different sand dollars, and I'm just going to kind of arrange them, see what's going to work, and utilize my little leaves in here. And let's put a small one here. Oops, there's a little starfish. But anyhow, oh, and then this was when I did my brown. See the leaf on that? It's kind of the little bubbles of water. Anyhow, just different things, and I'm going to kind of form the pieces until I get the kind of look that I want. And I think that's what I want right there. So anyhow, when you kind of put together, I don't think I need another starfish, do I? No. So it's really personal preference when you're putting together something. And I've got a little label that I'll do. Not that color. Maybe that one. Maybe. And then let me just switch this out and see if I like the color to be offset just a little bit. That might give us a little bit more. This is the smaller one, so we won't do the smaller one. We'll do the bigger one. Anyhow, so when you're putting together a design, you kind of play with it, but I have so many of these little die cuts out, it just kind of helps me to get my grouping. I think I will stick with that one. This one's nice, having the solid color, but most sand dollars have the variation. So I think I'm going to do that. So we'll start from the top and work our way down. So with the different, a lot of people would have gotten probably the bundle. They would have gotten possibly the just maybe the stamp set, but this kind of gives you a little look into how to get more dimension, how to get more product in your hand without having to go broke. so anyhow, I just wanted to just bring a little bit of idea to the channel, which is, you know, different than what my standard is, because my standard is the pumpkin, which we will definitely do, because the June 10th was the last day to get your pumpkin for the month. And I did send out, if you've not gotten the email, I can get that to you, but I did send out an email with the wonderful addition that they did for the next 3 months. So July, August, and September. So we already have a sneak peek for that. And looks like I didn't get underneath there. Oh, there I get. So what it is nice, because what they're doing now is they're allowing an opportunity to not only get an idea of what's coming, but what's nice about the pumpkins is that you can actually get your paper already in stock, and you can get your different things that you would normally not be able to get, because it's in the it's a surprise most of the time. But what we're trying to do, I know Stamping Up has been very diligent in doing this, is getting the things into your hands versus having to wait until the very last part. Because I know for me, you guys know, I'm sure, if you haven't followed me, I do not do a lot of Halloween. So in that regard, I will generally, just for the sake of the channel, I will actually not do, I'll actually buy or get the set, but I won't do, I got too much glue, boogers. I won't get the, okay, let me rephrase this. I normally do not get the September, but for the sake of the channel, I will, and then I'll make alterations to it. There. Whew. You would think that was a big thing to say, but I am. And one of the things I do with the channel is I am live, so I try not to veer off too much from the standpoint of what I do, and it gives you real life as far as what the outcome is, how it kind of formulates together, and then it allows you hopefully an opportunity to see some of the adjustments that you can make on your own project. So I'm making a birthday card, and remember, with the polymer, there's no extra cushion, so you have to use a cushion when you're using your stamps. And that way you're able to have a little bit more in with your coloring than you would if you didn't have it. I know I'm kind of all over the place, and let me just say that, you know, when you have life that kind of evolves and you need to put things together, it's not quite going together, I thought to myself, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it because I know it's important to do it. I know that if I just slough it off and I find myself not really in the groove. So I'm trying to get in the groove no matter what. All right, so now I have the card, my little layers. I have the different sand dollars, some part of greenery from the ocean, and then these are really neat with the different dies on that. So I'll come back because I want to show you a different die design, plus I'll embellish this some more, and I'll be right back. So let me show you a tip right quick, because as I showed you this card, afterwards I started looking, I want to show the detail. This starfish, I just went around with this smoky slate, and I put the little dots all the way around the white, and I'm sure you'll agree, it looks more like a starfish now than a regular just white aspect. So I wanted to get a close-up on that. And then this was the last with my scraps that I had. This was a piece left over from that panel that I did, a layer. And then, of course, the thanks from that add-on. Don't forget on your pumpkin, the one coming up this next quarter, there's an add-on. And if you're a pumpkin subscriber, you can order it. So anyhow, just wanted to give you those extra tidbits. So stay tuned for some still shots. Okay, so I have a couple of, well, first I want to show you the end product that I did with the card. So a little bit of bling and stars. It's just what I had. Everything else didn't kind of make sense. You'll notice that there are 5. Whenever you're doing a card, you want to do it in odd numbers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I would do 3 depending on the size of the card. I added some of the ribbon just to add some more natural element to it. And then I wanted to pull the card, or one of the starfish that I had cut out. And let me just show you. So I cut out this, and this was the card base. But then I wound up reusing this piece. And you remember I cut out the back of this real estate and used it for back here. So I had 2 layers on that. And this is a little bigger than an A2 size, but I wanted to get some more depth in it. Reuse this. And then this sentiment is actually from a retired kit. I went to pull some of my beach sand shells and everything, so that kind of made sense. And did the shell on the inside. Always make sure that when you're doing your cards that you stamp your envelopes. So this will be a matching envelope that will go with this. And then I just used 3 of the shells, the seashells, the sand dollars in this, and a couple of the sprigs that came with the die. So did that one. And then this one was just using just something in my stash for the natural elements for the either brick or the wood, and then did gray since I pulled it out of here. So I still used the basic beige for the base, used my ribbon, of course. And then I wanted to show you, so this sentiment, which is You've Been on My Mind, is actually came from the March. And so when I'm doing something where I'm splitting it, and let me just get a piece that I can show you here. get my paper out. So you may or may not have seen this, but I use it quite often. Rather than cutting my stamp, that some people will do, is that I am just going to put Scotch tape. I know it's such a high technical tool, but it does work. I get my first part on there. Oops, sorry. Hoo-hoo. That would have been interesting. Take off the tape. Then put that right there. And then I've got the first part. And then I'm going to go and I'm not going to worry about washing it at this point, because all I want to do is cover my previous stamp on there. Get my second part done. Take off the tape. Now that's on my fingers. And now oh, buggers. Here, I just told you how to do that, and now I just boo-booed. So I covered it, but I didn't cover all the way. So see how it came up? So the point of that demonstration, the first one was fine because I didn't have it inked up. This one I didn't cover enough. I was supposed to have covered it all the way. As you can see, it went all the way across. So the point of this lesson is that make sure to tape everything off that you do not want to have inked. So I can redo it, but then I'll just take up more time. But I wanted to at least get these ideas of this stamp set and give you some ideas that will be able to kind of save some money, rather than try to feel like you have to get all of the sets, all of the different types of product, and just put it in your hand. Make sure it works for you. If you don't have a demonstrator, you can see this is pretty simple. I don't do a lot of fancy things. Even my editing, it's all live. I don't have the software to make it sing and do all these pretty things. But what I can do is hopefully give you the good, bad, and the ugly of making cards, making it work, and being able to save some money. And let me back up real quick because I didn't have time to edit. But this is not a sponge. This is our blender brushes. Just so I'm sure you're listening going, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Anyhow, so if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be able to share with you, get discounts for you, and add you to our team. If you've not subscribed, hit subscribe, because I know that when these inspirations come out, you can go through and try to find all kinds of different avenues. But this gives you some out of the box, A2, a little bit bigger, and then the biggest one, and make them fit. I had a bunch of envelopes that were given to me, and now they can work for cards that are what you would get in the store versus the size that we normally have. So anyhow, have a great day, and keep stamping and look at shells and the aspects of saving a buck. Have a great day.